Get ready with me while I introduce myself and let you into who I am. So hi, let's get ready together while you get to know me. I'm not nervous at all. I feel like it's only fair to start with the basics. So hi, my name is Lisbeth Alvarez. I was born in Pinar del Rio, Cuba, so I am Cuban. I lived there until I had just turned 6. In August of 2005, maybe a week and a half after my birthday, my family immigrated to Miami, which is where I have lived pretty much all my life, minus 2 years where I actually lived in Detroit, Michigan. I was born August 10th, 1999, making me a Leo baby and 25 years old. Which just sounds crazy to say. I just turned 25. I do not feel 25. I don't know where the time went. I was 15 and having my quince pictures taken just the other day. Time really does go fast. My mom and my sister are my best friends and I tell them pretty much everything. My sister is 10 years older than me, which means that when I was a teenager, that was a hard relationship because, you know, teenagers are annoying. I can say that now. But she has always supported me through all of my craziness and adventures. And she also actually helped me start my first YouTube channel, which I believe it's still up. I no longer post there, but I have always wanted to create content. I just didn't think that people were gonna like my content or like me for who I genuinely am. So I have gone in and out of posting, but since I can remember, maybe since I was 12, I don't think I've ever not posted something for at least like a couple months since I was 12. But I've never been consistent with it because I was too scared to be myself. Growing up, I was bullied.
I wasn't laughing at being bullied. I was laughing because it's awkward to say that, okay?
Which I know is maybe a bit random to say that, but that was a very important part of my life. I think it shaped a lot of the way that I am in regards to me being on a side of childhood that wasn't a ton of fun. I struggled with eating disorders and body dysmorphia growing up, and it's something I still do, even though I'm in a better place than I was when I was a teenager. There was this guy who was super popular back in the day, and he created a lot of like fitness videos. I think his name was Sean White or something like that. And this was like for adults, okay? But I made my sister pirate those videos off the internet, those workout videos. And I remember I spent an entire summer, like in middle school, when I was in middle school, doing these workouts, and I wouldn't eat. And I was alone at my house at that moment because my sister, my mom, and my dad all worked full time, so it was easy for me to get away with that. And that continued till I was about 17 when I got pretty sick and my doctor told me that I had to eat because I was malnourished. Till this day, it's still crazy for me to look back at those pictures and videos because I really didn't think I was skinny. Like, your mind really plays these really mean tricks on you, and looking back now, I'm like, wow, was that like, I see what everyone was telling me now, but at that moment I didn't. Even though I got to my perfect weight, it for me didn't feel like enough, which is just so crazy. My first language is Spanish and I speak in Spanglish, so that means that I go and I switch between Spanish and English, and it is how I feel the most comfortable. I don't know, it's like become just a part of my life. By the way, you have a mirror here, which is why I'm looking there. And especially when you grew up in Miami, I don't know, I feel like we speak in Spanglish. I loved growing up in Miami because we have a lot of diversity, especially after living in Michigan for 2 years. I realized how lucky I was to be able to experience that in my lifetime, and how that's not the norm for all around the world. I am a huge Formula One fan. I got into the sport because of Lewis Hamilton, and he's still my #1 favorite driver of all time. I just freaking love Lewis Hamilton. I remember when I first like heard and saw Formula One, it was because of him, and then I just became obsessed because I've always been obsessed with like driving fast and fast cars. My favorite franchise is Fast and the Furious. I love the Fast and the Furious franchise. I've watched it more than 10 times. It is my guilty pleasure. I love it. If I could do a hot lap with anyone, it would most definitely be Lewis Hamilton, and I am going to try and manifest that for myself, especially now because we have the Miami Grand Prix that is here. So maybe next year, Elizabeth, we can do that. I struggle with anxiety and depression, and I've struggled with anxiety and depression pretty much my whole life. I just didn't know what it was, and explaining to your very Cuban parents depression, anxiety, not fun, and we've come a long way, and I can definitely say that I think this year is the first time that my mom has like fully understood and been able to see what that causes to me, and have like a little glimpse inside of my brain, primarily because I've also let her. So having the vulnerability to do that is very hard, but also feeling safe enough to be able to do that is something I'm grateful for. One of my favorite things is to travel with my sister, and I've had the luxury and privilege to be able to travel with her quite a lot as we've got older. So one of my favorite trips with her was London. London is probably one of my favorite cities in the whole entire world, and being able to experience that with her was just out of this world. And the reason we actually went to London is because she somehow managed to get us tickets for Elle's first concert back. This was pre-Vegas, like all of that, in Hyde Park, and it was one of my like top favorite moments of my life. And getting to experience that with my sister was like freaking amazing, because her and I like have followed Adele's trajectory since she first came out. So that was absolutely wonderful. And if you ever get an opportunity to see Adele live, I 10 out of 10 recommend. She's a comedian, phenomenal singer. Like you just have such a fun time. And if you can go with a loved one that loves Adele as much as you do, it makes the experience even better. Traveling with my sister and then being able to take my immigrant parents to Europe has probably been one of my favorite things ever, because it's not something that my Cuban parents could have ever thought of, that was going to be a possibility. And seeing them be kids and explore these cities, even though sometimes they get on my nerves, is one of my favorite things to do. And it's something that I work really hard for, to go on these yearly trips with them and make that a possibility for us. I am very open about my struggles with depression and anxiety and eating disorders, and it's something that I want to talk more about, to create this like safe space where you feel seen and you can have a place to turn to, because I definitely have built people that I follow that talk about it, and it helps me a ton, especially when I'm in certain moments where it's just a little bit harder than others. Having those people that I can, you know, see their content and feel less alone is very helpful. I love music. I'm constantly listening to music. I would say one of my most listened to, it has to be reggaeton, and then I like wholeheartedly have not listened to a lot of new pop songs, haven't kept up with that industry, but my OGs for sure. I grew up with One Direction, which, let's not talk about it because I'm gonna cry. I've been crying all day. I grew up with Miley Cyrus and all of the OGs that I absolutely love. I'm also very into like the classics, so the old school music, but there's something about reggaeton and Spanish music, Marc Anthony, Marco Antonio Solís, Los Bukis, like Selena, that I just, it's my happy place. And I just freaking, I love Spanish music. There's something about Spanish music that is just so special. While living in Detroit, Michigan, I realized that I am in fact a summer baby and a Caribbean girl. I'm grateful to have experienced seasons and winter, but I don't think it's for me. Last year I got into tennis and I took some like group tennis classes in Michigan, and I really liked it. I really want to go back into it, and I hope that I can do more of that. My favorite forms of workout and that don't trigger my eating disorders has been Pilates and walking. Finding Pilates is my absolute favorite thing in the world, and I really recommend you guys to check out the Sculpt Society. It's such an amazing community, and I just like love being a part of that. I have sensory issues, so there's like things that like bother me, like clothes or specific socks that I can only wear. And then like, for example, like if I'm hot and I'm sweaty, like I hate people touching me, like do not touch me. Like it just like, it bothers me so much. I also struggle with like, I have like OCD, like things have to be in specific places, and if I put it in that place and it's been in that place for years and then you move it, it's like that's too chaotic for my mind. And I just don't like it, and I kind of go into this existential crisis moment. Which is hard to explain to people, but my family gets it. In the morning when I wake up, I don't like to talk to humans. I like to have like my me time, and then I can talk to humans. And I love fashion, I love clothes, I love jewelry. My mom's like the reason I get ready every morning now is because of my mom. She always gets ready for work, has since as long as I can remember. And it inspires me. She's my biggest inspiration. I love my mom. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love to learn a little bit more about you, so if you feel comfortable or if there's things that are like between us, please let me know in the comments below. I really want to like communicate and talk to you guys. That's where it's really fun. So I'm gonna keep showing up more as my authentic self, and I hope you guys stick around and I hope you like it. Let me know if you are curious about anything in particular, and I'm excited to get to know you all and share a little bit more about me as we navigate this journey together. See you in the next one. Bye. Adios.